Testing, testing.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another Sci-Fi Model Action Live on the Bench Hangout. We're kicking off our Monday night show with a great group of modelers that we've assembled for our panel tonight. And we're going to start off with our introductions like we usually do, and I'm going to go to my left here and start off with Bob Busking. How you doing tonight, Bob?
Hey everybody, I'm doing just fine. My name is Bob Busking. I live just west of St. Louis, out in rural Missouri, and we're building models like a regular factory here.
Yep, Bob, have you started on your shuttle kit yet?
Yep, working on it.
Excellent. I just watched that documentary that they did on, I think it was on National Geographic, that showed the last flight of the Discovery. That was really cool. They had, I don't know if you've seen that yet, but there's probably a lot of reference material on there for you. You know,
The
good picture.
flight into Dulles and into DC.
Yeah, they showed,
Yeah.
you know, real close pictures of the airplane and the real detailed shots of the shuttle and all that. And I was fascinated about how they talked about how they load and unload that off of the 747. You know, they had to, when they took it to Dulles, they had to use that rig. I guess they hadn't used it in like 20 years or something, and they got it out of storage and had to read the manuals on how to use it. But yeah, they did a great job with that.
I'm surprised that they had the tail cone on there too.
Yeah.
On the Discovery when they brought it in.
Yep.
And then you search around, I think CBS News had the video before they landed. They did several circles around the mall down in DC, which is like the world's most secure airspace, and I was really surprised they let them do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Washington Monument and everything.
They showed them rolling out the Enterprise and rolling the Discovery in, so that was pretty cool. I guess the Enterprise went to, I'm not sure, but they put that one somewhere else, but that was pretty neat. Okay, we'll get back to you in a little bit, Bob, and see what you're working on.
All right.
Next, we got Chris Whitford. How you doing tonight, Chris?
Can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, as Boyd said, my name is Chris Whitford, and I live in Bowling Springs, South Carolina. And it's July night, and I'm here trying to work on Batman's spikes for his gauntlet. So.
Oh, okay. Very cool. And we've got that's part of Chris is working on a model for our Heroes build that we've got going on over at Sci-Fi Model Action on the forums. It's running for the whole month. We've got some nice model kits being built up for that. Let's swing it on over to Dave Pashtag. How you doing tonight, Dave?
Hey, Boyd. How you doing? Like Boyd said, I'm Dave Pashtag. I'm from Granite City, Illinois, and got a YouTube channel under the same name, and just building models and trying to have some fun.
All right, Dave. And let's see. Next, we got Eric Hawkins. Looks like Eric moved out to his car now. How you doing tonight, Eric?
Enjoying myself. Thought I'd visit with you guys for a little bit.
Glad to have you on with us tonight, Eric. And we've got somebody new with us tonight, Mitch Seagraves. Is that how you say your name, Mitch?
Yeah, that's close enough. Seagraves, S-A-G.
How you doing tonight, Mitch? Glad to have you on with us. Tell us about yourself and where you're from.
I'm from Kernersville, North Carolina. Been building on the Cylon Raider. Got it finished up today. I was wanting to show it off.
Very cool, Mitch. Yeah, we'll have you show that here in just a little bit when we get to our show and tell thing. I'm going to continue on with the introductions for everybody here. We got Shannon Freeman with us again tonight. How you doing tonight, Shannon?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How's Boyd?
I'm tired, but I'm here, Shannon.
Well, as Boyd says, I'm Shannon Freeman. I'm from a little bitty town called Benton, Kentucky. We don't get much here. Just taters and tourists.
Well, that sounds like a good, relaxed place to build some models. Then that's a good alternative. And up next, we got Tag. How you doing tonight, Tag?
Good. How's everybody else? I'm Tag. San Jose. It's a little bit warm today. I'm not used to the heat in California. But yeah, it's a good long weekend. Got a lot done on the X-Wing for the July build. That's what I'm still working on.
That'd be the fine molds kit you're doing there, right, Tag?
Yep, the 148.
Very nice. Looking forward to seeing some of that here in just a little bit. And our good friend Ralph from Boston, Massachusetts, our electronics guru, is here tonight again. How are you tonight, Ralph?
I'm doing well, thank you. May not talk good. Had a tooth pulled out today, extraction. That's always fun, but other than that, I'm doing okay. Glad to be here.
Oh, did they give you some good drugs?
Well, I have something, but so far there's not that much pain, so I'm gonna try to hold off.
All right.
Tomorrow.
Well,
Tomorrow.
Ralph, it's getting close. What is it, about 3 weeks, and we're heading over to the big show in Jersey?
A big show, yep. It's coming down. I think I'm gonna have to take some time off to build all the stuff I want to take, but we'll see.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, Ralph. And
Yeah, me too.
getting quite a few little notes from people that are from the forums and some of the other modeling groups out there that are looking forward to seeing both of us out there that I guess know us, so that's going to be pretty cool. Have a lot of people stop by your table, I hope.
Well, that'll be nice to see, put faces with the names. Bernie Blasco is a gentleman that I've done business with, and he's originally, I guess, well, he has a daughter here in Massachusetts, close to me. And he said, next time he's in, he's going to look me up and stop by. I said, sure, you got a couple of weeks. If not, we'll see each other in Jersey Fest. I guess he's going there, too.
That's going to be great. Yeah, really looking forward to that. It's weird. Talking about it since last winter, it seemed like it was so long away, and here it is just a couple of weeks now, so time's really flying.
Sure does.
So, okay, it looks like we had our friend Jerry Hedgecock with HDA Model Works make it back in here. Let's introduce Jerry. How you doing tonight, Jerry? Well, I saw him, but I just see his logo right now. Jerry, can you hear us?
Well, tell me it froze up.
Well, we'll come back to Jerry. Hopefully he'll come get something going here, and we'll come back to him in a little bit. Just to introduce myself again, Boyd Crompton with I operate my TrekWorks YouTube channel and operate the Sci-Fi Model Action forums, and your host for tonight. I'm just a regular model builder too, like the rest of the guys here, and enjoy hanging out and talking models. So let's go back over to Bob Busking and have Bob show us a little bit of what he's got on his bench tonight. What you got cooking there, Bob?
Well, I'll say we're working on the shuttle for the 747 shuttle build, which is, you guys have seen it. Get back forward, I'll get the whole thing in the picture. 144 scale, and it said it represents the Discovery last flight into Dulles Airport. And we're working on that for the Heroes build for July. Probably won't get it done because there's parts missing from the kit, so we won't have those in time. But I'm also working on the Grumman duck. It's almost done.
Wow, that looks nice, Bob.
We'll be putting starting on the decals on it probably tomorrow. And that's what we're working on.
What kind of a color scheme have you got going on that one, Bob? Is it something specific?
It's Marine Corps, right before pre-World War II. It's got the just a star on it. Doesn't have the bars with it. So it's got the yellow top wing and all that, like a 1939, 1940 era plane. I got it because I was watching Black Sheep Squadron a couple of weeks ago, and I just built that Corsair, and the episode had a duck in it, and I thought, I wonder if they make a duck model, and they do, obviously. So
is that a double seat airplane, Bob, or a single seat?
There's two seats in the cockpit on top. Let me get back up here, and then I've got it taped over, but there's a whole cabin below. They carried cargo or did air sea rescue, surveillance type stuff. Where they used it a lot was like, that in the Solomon Islands, they had all the coast watchers. were watching the Japanese fleet and radioing in. They used the ducks to keep them supplied because a little thing could pop in and out of those lagoons and land in
yeah.
the ocean. Because the wheels just pop up, and on camera I can never get them to do it.
Amphibious, yeah, perfect for what they needed around there. I remember the episode on Black Sheep Squadron you're talking about. That's the one where Bowington took the Sarge up in the air and scared the crap out of them, right?
Yeah, and they were usually like transferring fuel to some remote island, Japanese-held island that was too far away.
Yep.
So the wheels all go up in there, and it's got to be really sharp when it's done.
Oh yeah.
Doing a build log on YouTube for it. Anybody who wants to catch up on it.
Are you doing any of the rigging on the wings and everything there, Bob?
Yes, I am. I just searched and found the supplier of the Easy line. Actually, I had to go in and put the rigging mounts in there. They're not on the kit. So we're going to be doing that as well.
Interesting. I'll definitely check out that video to see the technique you used to get that to look nice. I know that's going to be add a lot of really nice detail on that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. Well, I'm not looking forward. Actually, the part I'm looking least forward to is painting the pilots. I do terrible at painting figures. I can never get them right.
You and me
never
both.
can get them right.
All right. Well, we're really looking forward to that, Bob. Yeah. Mention your YouTube channel. Do you go by Bob Busking, or what's your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have two of them. Bob Busking is the one that has sci-fi and regular model builds, and then Robert River Eagle has all my model railroading YouTube videos on it. So I got two of them.
All right. Well, check that out, guys. You'll see some beautiful models being built. Bob's a prolific builder. He's always got something going on, so check that out. And next we've got Chris, who said he is working on the Batman for our Sci-Fi Model Action Heroes group build. Wow, that's a big figure. That's like a foot tall or more.
14 inches.
Wow.
And started her off. It's a vinyl kit for those of you that don't know. Basic construction, not really complete, just basically getting things together. There was a crack in the foot from where I've had it so long, so I'm filling that with some putty and working on trying to get flashing off the head in the cowl and all that, and plus at the same time working on the little gauntlet spikes. I don't know if the camera will pick them up or not, but little gauntlet spikes that go onto the gauntlets.
The gauntlets would be his sleeves on his gloves, kind of like, right?
Yep. Gauntlets are the gloves.
Okay. Now, is that supposed to be Michael Keaton?
Yes, it is.
He looks kind of tall for Michael Keaton, but yeah. How's the jaw sculpting on it? Does it look like him?
Well, see for yourself. I think it does. Close to it.
Does. It's pretty close.
Yeah. That was one of the better bat cowls, I think, that they did.
Well, I've always liked the emblem for the '89 Batman with the extra points down there at the bottom. But over the years, I've got to say, for me, the best cowl that I've seen out of all for the Batman is still going to be the last ones, the Bale from Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. Due to the fact it was just segmented and it allowed him to turn his head. Because if you look at these cows, they never were able to turn their head. They always had to turn their body the entire way.
Yeah, that could be kind of rough. Especially if you got about 5 or 6 of the Joker's henchmen coming at you.
So, I mean, if it was Batman, you've got to be able to turn your head. So that's why I like those cows a little bit better. But like I said, it's a nice kit. I'm just in the process right now trying to figure out how to get rid of all the flashing for this cow. And then get everything set up for the pose and then start painting.
Very cool. Well, Chris, I know you built that Batwing kit a while back. If I wanted to mention that to you next time I saw you, if you ever happen to go to one of those shows and see one of those kits, I'd like to get one of those, the same one that you built. Your audio cut out, Chris, for some reason.
So,
El Zilcho.
Uh,
Eric,
okay.
you back?
There it is.
Right.
Yeah. I'm still not familiar with how this headset works, but yeah, I'll be glad to be on the lookout because I've got one more show this year, and that'll be in September. And I hope they have two because I'm still working on mine. Mine's not quite finished yet, and there's a flaw I want to fix in the canopy.
Don't forget, you're supposed to be looking for one too for me also, Chris.
So that's
Is that-
3 I got to look for.
Is that a kit that
Might as well
is
just get a cake.
kind of rare, or is that something you can find? I mean, if I decided to go on eBay and get one, how much should I pay for it, Chris?
I've seen them at shows for no more than 20.
Okay.
And there is the ones on eBay they can get as high as 50 or $60. But there's also a 148 scale, the Japanese version out there that goes for 70 and higher. And I would probably recommend it over the AMT due to the fact it's a better quality mold, if you ask me.
Okay. But the one that you had, it is an AMT kit, so that's kind of what. Okay, because it looked pretty good when you were working on it, so I'd be happy with that. All right. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Chris. And again, don't forget, guys, we got our Heroes build going on over at Sci-Fi Model Action. It's too late to get in, but be sure and stop by and check out the work that the guys are doing on their build threads there. I want to go back to Jerry from HDA Model Works. Jerry looks like he's back in here. Let's have Jerry introduce himself. How you doing tonight, Jerry?
Can people hear me? I'm having technical problems
Yes.
tonight.
We can hear you, Jerry.
We can hear you, Jerry.
Because I can see everybody, but I can't see Boyd, so it must be a bandwidth issue or something. I'm doing good. I'm glad to be on. Glad to see everybody. I just wanted to drop by for a little bit tonight just to say hi and catch up with everyone, and also let everyone know that I had heard from my model distributor today, and the Reliant 1000 scale kits are shipping from round 2.
Wow.
Distribution, and so they're coming out. I put a post on Sci-Fi Model Action about those, so the long-awaited 1000 scale Reliant is finally out there. I do have some bittersweet news. Apparently the decals, the Aztec decal sets, are not shipping yet from round 2, which is kind of disappointing that they apparently didn't get them out in distribution at the same time. So, but the kit should be out, and they should start showing up in retail in about a week for a little less.
Okay. Excellent.
Go on.
There you
Two
go.
of those.
Everybody can build their own little Wrath of Khan diorama now. That's what I want to do. 1,000
And
scale would be pretty cool. Yeah.
I did a post on SFMA for SFMA members. I'm going to have the same discounted deal for the Reliant. I got a few cases of those coming in, so if anyone's interested, just drop me a line. Make sure that you give me your avatar so I know who you are, because I check on SFMA to make sure that the discount's going to real SFMA members. So.
Very nice. We appreciate that very much too, Jerry. Some great prices. I've gotten several kits from them, and great shipping. They always arrive in great shape, and nice to have somebody out there helping everybody out. We really appreciate it. I'm going to go back now to our on the bench stuff, and I've got Dave Pashtag up next. How you doing tonight, Dave? And what are you working on, buddy?
Oh, well, actually, I'm working on wiring the War of the Worlds with Ralph.
All right.
With Ralph's great board there that I thought was great. So it's just something I've just started a few days ago. I was kind of under the weather last week, had a cold or something going on, and so I kind of started it, and I want to get it going because I love the look of it.
Oh, me too. That kit is really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And I just halfway got it going, mocked up, and tested everything, and it looked great. So now I'm gonna work on putting her together and see about getting it all together and getting it on the base.
Very nice, Dave. Can't wait to see that.
Thanks.
And let's talk to Eric here real quick and see what Eric's got plans. He's always got something cooking he's going to be working on, and he's a kind of a scratch building guy, but what do you got going on in your modeling future there, Eric?
My modeling future is rusting up for Jersey Fest, trying to get all my my schedule, paperwork, and everything done, so I can have that week off and not worry about anything. And while I was doing that, found out I had 50 hours of vacation pay coming my way.
Man,
Yeah,
go to,
that's one
you gonna
problem.
go to Hawaii or something?
Now I'm coming up to see you
Going to
guys.
Jersey Fest.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be better than Hawaii.
Yeah, not
We're
to
gonna have a
mention,
good time.
yeah, I got used up by the 8th of August, so that'll be cutting it kind of close too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like I
Um,
said, I'm really looking forward to that. That's gonna be pretty neat.
yeah. Oh, I do have two quick questions because I may have to leave soon.
Okay.
Have you seen the what was the model that Dave just had up?
War of the Worlds.
Waterworld's model in Chrome.
Yeah, they make one in a that. You talk about the plated version?
Yes.
Yeah, they make that one.
Okay. Someone asked me a question about that today. I told him that was for collectors, and he should check out your videos on everything. You did a nice build on that.
Yeah, the one I've did is not the plated one. I just use the alclad copper on it.
Yeah. Well, it comes Chrome just like those old Star Trek ships used to.
Yeah.
But I told him
The
he
only
should.
problem with that is that you've got to fix the seams on it, and you're not going to find anything that matches that, because it's actual plating. So that's the only reason I wouldn't go with that kit. And the plating is more for kind of like a show model, or if you want to call it that. It doesn't look like the original ships. It's way too chromy looking.
Right,
But
I told him that. I told him he may have to strip that off and just start painting.
yeah,
And paint
you're
on
better
it.
off buying the regular kit because I think they charge about $10 or $15 more for that plated version.
I think it was too late for him now. He already took it apart.
Well,
Yeah.
like you said, you can always strip the plating off of it.
Right.
There was somebody that was talking about that here on one of our hangouts about something that they found that takes that plating off of there really quickly too, soaking in the stuff.
Someone said Purple Power, WD-40s. They got a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
The next question, real quick, is for Jerry.
Oh,
Jerry.
yes, sir.
I saw something today about LED button.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Are you going to start selling those? Just as something special you had in trying out?
The LED buttons, or what's also called, forgot what the other term for them is. Jeez, just flew out of my mind. I'm getting old. Sorry about that. Those are a product that I've been testing, and I've shared those with a few modelers, especially for potential use in the Cylon Raider from Mobius, the original series Raider for the engines. And considering carrying those as part of the product line. They're very easy to install and can be very bright. And so if you're interested, just send me an email, Eric, and tell me what you're interested in relation to about them. And right now I only have them in white. I don't have them in any other colors. But if anyone's interested and they think it's a good idea, perhaps next time on the Hangout I'll actually show them off and show an example of them and how they light to see if anyone could think of possible uses. I got them also to think specifically about using them also in the Battlestar models, excuse me, the Viper engines, because they're excellent and perfect size to fit in for those. And they're quite bright. I'm a real fanatic when it comes to the original series models. And on the show, the engines were real super bright to look at, and that's the one thing that in terms of building the Vipers and stuff, I'd like to have something, a very, very bright light source that has very little heat that can really give you sort of, not quite a blinding look, but when you look back there, you can really tell there's something going on instead of just a, I don't know, faint light like a 5mm LED would give.
Yeah, I think that would take off very well because I've seen at least a half dozen different ways people are lighting that engine besides the 5mm LED.
Let me look over here on the bench, which I've got loaded up with stuff, and see if I can find a sample. I have a little bag here of some of it. and I'll just show you what they look like real quick. But next time I can come on and mock them up and show you how they light. I think Destroyed Viper is his avatar, Rob from SFMA. He's using them.
Right, that's
for
what
his Raider, and they're about this size, and they have a little dome on top of them. The wings on the side are where you connect them, positive and negative. And they have a little ceramic backing. And what's nice about these, with a little dab of hot glue, you can pop these suckers in place, and they put out a lot of light and work really good. So it's just something I'm considering, and next time if I'll see about rigging up something and come on and actually show the light, so you can see it and get an idea of what it looks like.
Okay, well, Jerry, while we're on you, I've got a question that came in from Kenny Lau. And it says, Jerry, any chance of offering USPS priority 2-day flat rate at $4.99 shipping on all model kit orders, or does USPS reserve that kind of pricing for larger scale businesses?
I can't get that type of pricing from USPS.
Yeah.
I would imagine
I have to be
that
shipping thousands of items a day to be able to get that type of pricing.
Right. And some of the model kit boxes are quite large and heavy too, so I would think that that would be tough.
I've met with UPS. I've met with Federal Express and talking about rates and everything. And no matter what, I'm still shipping U.S. Postal Service because the rates are more advantageous.
Right.
And I guess Ralph's had the same situation because he's not in bed there.
Yeah, I mean that's the best. The small, excuse me, the small flat rate box. The best I can do is it's really $5 1/4.
Yes.
Right. Well, whatever service you're using, Ralph, it's ace, because whenever I get anything from you or when you tell me you're shipping it, it's usually no more than 2 days and I have it. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, they do. USPS does a great job, and we have some inventory, so if we can ship them within a day, you guys will get them fairly quick. And so between the two of us, hopefully you guys will get it in a decent amount of time.
Ralph,
I've never had anything lost by the USPS doing priority flat rate either.
Yeah, me too. You're right, Jerry.
Do they just come and pick it up from your place, Ralph, or do you have to take all that stuff to the post office?
Well, usually they come and pick it up. So unless the post woman that we have in our industrial park, she's usually there by between 11:30 and 12. So if we miss it, then I could choose to go to the post office, which is not too far away, about a couple of miles down the road. But yeah, they come and pick it up. You can actually tell them. You can have a pickup. You can say, hey, I need a pickup, and they'll come pick it up as well.
Yeah, you can do it online.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, guys, did you have anything else you wanted to ask Jerry there, Eric?
Not unless I go ahead and place an order right now.
Well, you can always do that.
Yeah, that was my question to Jerry.
Well, Eric, if you place an order within the next 15 minutes, you get a free bamboo steamer.
Okay. Operators are standing by.
Consummate salesman. There you go.
I'm up for that. I want a bamboo steamer.
I should say, why supplies last. But anyway.
Right.
That way you're always off the hook. Sorry, we ran out. All right, guys, I'm going to move on to Mitch now. And Mitch wanted to talk about his Cylon Raider that he's been working on.
Yeah.
Let's have a gander at that bad boy there, Mitch.
All right. As y'all know, the stand's kind of wobbly, so I'm going to try to get it around here where you can see it. But let's see.
Nice.
And I did the weathering, I watched Dave's video. Dave knows about the chalk. I used the chalk just like Dave did.
That looks good.
I like it.
Nice.
Very nice.
Still can't get over how big that thing is.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's
Ooh, he's
And
got
it
some light action there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you've got the guns firing.
Yeah.
That's cool. What did you use to get that effect, Mitch?
I took just a regular ink pen, took the end out, and used that plastic. Pulled the tip off and
hollow
used that
tube, okay.
plastic. And I just put some what do you call it, heat shrink around it to hold it steady. It worked pretty good.
What's giving it the what's making it fire kind of at random like that though? You got a little flasher board in there, or just flashing
No,
LED?
I just ordered them like that from I think it's Big Dogs.
Okay.
Plane Train or something like that. They get them where you can flash them just like that. I had to do 2 separate switches, so because if I tried to hook it in all in one battery, and it made all the lights flash. So I had to switch it out. I did put red over here, which I know that's not normal for it, but and red over here.
Do your own thing. That's fun.
But
have you got the engines lit in the back too?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, those are nice and bright.
Yeah, nice and bright.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
I made me a balsa wood square box in there, and I got 3 strips of LED.
Yeah, that's plenty bright. That looks great.
Yep.
And
that looks good.
It turned out real good, I think.
Oh yeah.
Now you're going to build you a couple of Vipers to go with that, so you can have your own little battle.
Oh yeah, there you go. If I could just get them to fly around my room and have a good fight, we'd be good, wouldn't we?
Yeah, Ralph, you need to work on that, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. We can even work on a lot of things.
Gave Ralph an idea.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for sharing that, Mitch. That's a beautiful model. What are you working on next?
I hadn't decided. I wanted to go for the Galactica. That's what I was wanting to buy.
The original series Galactica?
Yeah.
There you go. That's the only true Galactica, man.
I think it's like, what, 62 inches or 69 inches long?
Oh, you're talking about the Mike Salzo's resin kit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a beaut. Yep. Oh,
Yeah,
that'll be
I'd
cool
love
to
to
see
get
that.
into that.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to move on to Shannon. Looks like Shannon's tinkering around with his kit there. It's what do you got going on there, Shannon? That's the Enterprise C.
Yeah, it's a C. I'm trying to get her going. Trying to get most of the decals done here.
Well, it looks good in the shot.
Yeah. So far, so good. The sensor bands died on me.
Are you making a little stand to set those on, Shannon?
No, I just using the one that I've got here.
Oh, okay.
Ain't nothing extra fancy, but it's something. If I used the stand, I'd have to light the darn thing. Trust me. I think Jerry's got enough of those things.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Yeah, so far so good. I think
How
I'll
did
let
you-
it rip for a while now.
Did you have to do any painting on that, Shannon, or is it just right out of the box?
Oh, I painted it. Painted it some, the hussars and all that other fun stuff.
Very nice.
Little things like what do you call these things? Collector things along the sides.
Oh yeah, that's gonna look great.
Well, it is when I'm finished. Then, after that, I've got another beauty to do. I just got it today, and I got its decals with it. New decals.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, the refit NX01. Very cool.
I got these just today.
Oh yeah, 8 Creation.
8 Creations, and it's already got a coat of decal bonder on it.
There you go.
I don't have to worry about putting any more on it.
Well, talking about the NX01 refit, guys, I don't know if we mentioned this before on the Hangout or whatever, but I think about a week or two ago they made an announcement. I can't remember who the company is, but there's going to be a resin conversion kit to convert the 350 scale NX01 into the refit.
Good.
They're out.
So that's definitely one I want to get my hands on. That's some. I think there'll be some more details coming out. I saw something about it on the. Somebody posted it on the Sci-Fi Model Action Google site,
Me.
and that'll be really fun. I've been waiting for that one. I was kind of hoping that Round 2 themselves or Polar Lights would do it, but so I hope that's a nice
is
kit.
doing them, and JT Graphics is got them available on his website.
Very cool.
And he's doing the decals also.
Any idea, Bob, what the pricing on that was?
I think it was $199.
It's actually $195 plus shipping.
$195
for
there
the
you
model
go.
and the decals combined?
Yeah, and he should be probably getting ready to start shipping by the end of this week, if it's not already started.
Very nice. I'm looking forward to seeing some more details about that, some reviews from people that get it, see what kind of a quality deal that is, but that's a little on the pricey side, but that'll be a beautiful model. The NX01 and the refit version will look really nice in 350 scale. All right, I'm going to move on to Tag now and see what old Tag's working on tonight. What you got going there, Tag? Ah, yes. The laser cannons.
Yeah, the laser cannons. This is just the first one. I'm still debating whether I want to just go ahead and do it in tube, styrene, or scrape all this off and try to get it round. I want to thank Jerry. I got my all my flickering LEDs today in the mail.
Excellent.
Yeah, you're almost as fast as Amazon.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's a compliment. Trust me. I mean, 'cause I buy a lot of stuff off eBay, and it can be a week, 10 days. And same with Ralph's stuff. I usually get it in about 3 days, 4 at the outside.
Well, I hope they work well for you, Tag.
Yeah, they will work perfectly because I'm going to put the red ones in this X-wing. I tried dipping them in the Tamiya clear and it didn't look bad, but it just flakes off so easy, and it wasn't consistent. I think I wanted something a little more consistent.
Oh yeah, it'll give you much better color.
Yeah, I already tested one out, and I like it a whole lot better. And did you, for getting the Reliant kits, did you want the email to your email on your website or the SFMA?
No, my regular email on the website.
Okay, because I'm going to email you because I want to.
Okay. It's a shame to say, but I don't get over to SFMA all the time.
That's fine. That's fine.
Every day, so.
Yeah, I mean everybody's got their own schedules and everything. But I got a little test fit, putting stuff together.
Oh, very nice.
That's a nice assembly.
Yeah, it's actually a fairly easy kit. I thought it was going to be a little more difficult, but it's a fairly easy kit. And I want to thank everybody for responding to my questions about the video cameras and stuff. I wound up not going with anything that anybody suggested.
Make everybody feel
okay. Well, we won't give you any advice next time, damn it.
Well, I was going to say that doesn't mean I didn't research it.
Let me guess where you ordered it from. Amazon.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
If they haven't hired you yet, they should.
I know, and it'll be here tomorrow because I ordered it yesterday. It'll be here tomorrow. But I went with the Samsung
Amazon drone service.
No, he's probably a Prime member.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a Prime member.
Free 2-day shipping.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't beat it. I tell you, it's. I've actually noticed because I've been on eBay for probably about 10 years now, and I've noticed that a lot of items they don't even try to sell on eBay anymore because they can't beat the shipping, especially since the post office went up on their shipping last year. So, Yeah, it's moving really fast, and I actually think I'll make it before deadline. I plan on doing some video on it. I'm just kind of prepping all the parts and stuff for when the camera gets here, and I think I'm going to focus more on the. Because with the X-wing, it's more about the details, doing the details on the ships, because there's a lot of colors, there's a lot of weathering, there's a lot of stuff. So I may focus mostly on that.
Yeah, Star Wars, dirty, dirty, dirty.
Yep, exactly. But I've got several good reference photos, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to do Red 3 or I'm going to do Red 5. But I'm going to try to match as best I can what's on the studio scale, which is a lot of work. There's a lot of work on those models as far as weathering's concerned. But that's where I'm at.
Very nice, Tag. Thanks for sharing that. And
Yep.
looking forward to you joining the YouTube community too. That'll be really cool to see you doing some videos.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Just to, something new and different, and see how it goes.
All right. Let's talk to Ralph here a little bit and see what Ralph's got going in the world of electronics. How's things coming along on your projects there, Ralph?
They're moving along. Oh, Jerry, I got those. I guess they're those surface-mounted LEDs we were talking about for the B9. When I got home tonight. Yeah,
the 0402 SMGs?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't opened up the package, but it's from you, so I think that's it. That's them. Yeah, Jerry and I have been collaborating on this little bad boy. We're bouncing some ideas around, how to light those little sprockets things, or whatever you could, spruce with it, whatever they're called, those 7 little things up top near the brain section.
Thingamajigs.
The thingamajigs, yeah.
Spokes.
Spokes, yeah, like little spokes. So I'm not doing a major glue job, Boyd, because I'm sending it to you. So I'm trying to just kind of working with it so we can finalize the way to do it, at least from my perspective and Jerry's perspective. And then when you get it, you can look at it and see what you need to do. But I'm kind of tacking it together. Just Jerry and I reviewed the lighting sequence. He seemed to agree. Actually, he said it was nice. And I said, okay, if you think it's nice, then who am I to disagree? So we're working with that. The sound is good. Jerry took a look at the way we're going to implement the sound light, and it came out very easy and nice to do. What else? But unfortunately, with the holiday and Saturday and Sunday with parties here, party there, so obviously not much got done. And we did work, although we were able to get up the 1/44 scale Forbidden Planet. I'm very pleased with the way that lighting kit came out for the engine effect. I was thinking about the motor for that, like we talked about that a long time ago, but we would have needed a shaft that was much longer than is available in that motor, and we'd either have to fabricate a fan or we'd move that internal part and spin it. But I thought they might go out around. So I thought the best approach was just to go with an LED sequencer. And believe it or not, we got quite a few sales once. It's only been up for a couple of days. People seem to be gravitating towards it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent, Ralph.
You won't
I'm
get
glad
that
to hear
motor
that.
sound.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. I was actually pleased when if you guys look at the video, I didn't even frost the panels on the engine compartment down below. There's little panels you put in and glue in. I didn't even frost them. Those are just they're clear, and there's just red LEDs inside. So I think if somebody was to frost them, you'd probably even get a much better effect.
Right. That's cool. All right. And yeah, don't forget, everybody, to if you're looking for custom electronics or electronics for a lot of different model kits that Ralph's already got developed, you can go to his website, which is www.TenaControls.com. He's got a brand new website, which is really easy to navigate. You bring up your pictures that you've got of your various starships, and you click on one of the starship pictures, and you got everything listed right there for the specific lighting kits that are available for those. So that's really nice how you've got that organized.
Yeah, thanks to Jerry. It worked out. We're getting a lot of compliments on that. And mention, speaking about custom boards, it's always gratifying to me to see how people have used some of our custom controls. I believe I shared it with you guys. There's a gentleman out in the West Coast that built a 19-foot robot, Daryl Toland, and he sent me a video. I think it was yesterday or the day before, but I didn't have a chance to look at it until today, of this monstrous robot. And he basically, it uses a PIR sensor, so if you move across its focal point, line of sight, he'll start to do his thing, which is basically certain types of noises and the LEDs chirping. So that was cool to see that. And yeah, and I saw one of the gentlemen send me his video of his UFO. Eric, remember that the one you did, the Invaders board, the special board? David purchased one, and he sent me a video. So everybody's got their own little twists on it, but they all look great. I'm very happy to see how our products or custom products are being utilized.
Well, I think Mitch, that's in here tonight. Mitch, you built one of those, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Right. I remember, Mitch. I just couldn't remember. I'm not at my home. I'm not at my office computer. I forgot which one you had purchased. How did yours come out, Mitch?
Yeah, I'm the one. I loved your lighting kit. I loved that.
Thank you, Mitch.
I was amazed when I did that video of putting that together how many people really liked that and remembered what it was too. It's got a lot of questions about
watching that show, so it was great.
Oh yeah, and the effect that you did on that, Ralph, is exactly like it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I saw a video from somebody. I can't remember who it was now, but he actually built the entire little diorama scene. I know you did a little bit of that, Mitch, but he had the this guy had the video of the whole little scene of he had the model like suspended in midair like it hadn't landed yet, and he had the little diner there that he scratch built, and he had the exact same car that the character David Vincent's driving. I think it's like a '65 Galaxy Ford Galaxy convertible. And he had the exact same car in the right scale and everything, and he had the little sign that said something diner, you know, it was like an abandoned diner and all that. It was a really neat little diorama scene. I was like, wow, that guy put a lot of work into that, but that's pretty cool that people remembered that show and that little ship. That kit's actually kind of hard to find. A lot of people were asking where I got it. I'm kind of hoping somebody will bring that one back out in resin or something like that, but
yeah,
it's a nice little kit.
I've seen a few of them where they had the clear top. That's what I wanted, but I couldn't find it.
Yep.
Where you paint it in, and then you ain't got to cut out the windows. And I had to cut out my windows, and it was very hard.
Yep. A couple little modifications you got to do. You had to cut out the bottom too, right? Where the lenses, where the main engines light up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun little model to work on. Got anything else you want to talk about, Ralph?
Speaking of models, I'm working with Fantastic Plastic on the Thing flying saucer. Hopefully we'll get to that pretty soon. I know I want to finish the robot though, that poor little guy. But talking to Alan about that, you know, we'd like to build that up. Maybe I can talk to him. Maybe, I don't know. I know it's pricey. I think that ship is like $125. It's a resin kit. So I don't know if they were willing to do a resin kit for a UFO one, but hey, we'll see.
Right.
The Invaders.
Yep, because that's a great kit, and they're so hard to find, and they're just outrageous when you look at them on eBay. You'd get into a big bidding war trying to get one, and it's apparently still really popular. So, okay, guys.
Especially after you build it.
Yeah.
After Boyd builds it, takes off.
Yeah. They keep telling me that, but I don't believe them.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
right. I
It
ended up
happens.
I'm gonna show you guys a little bit. Of course, I've still been working on the Enterprise refit here, and I'll just show you a quick screenshot of what I've been working on here. And hopefully I did it right this time. Is that showing up on the screen for you?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I'm finished with the secondary hull and the saucer. I've got all the decals and everything done on it. I'm really happy with how it came out. And now I'm working on these damn nacelles, and these things are like building their own models in themselves. By the time you get done putting all the lighting and the lot of paint work to do on them. But you can see here, I've got the chiller grill done, and I've got that nice kind of purple effect on the grills. Orbital Dry Dock, for those of you that have been asking about it, in his masking set, he provides a separate sheet that has the narrow tape that you place in those slits there that you see in the picture. And they're made to be the right size, and they just lay right down in there so you can get a nice clean line. One of the things that I found out about this when I built my first one is that there's a certain way that these are supposed to be done, and there's supposed to be 5 bars that are blocked off with the light. So if you think about it, the recessed areas were what I thought were supposed to be blocked off when I first started building it, and then I think it was Matt from over at Sci-Fi Model Action and let me know that it was exactly the opposite. So you got to put your little tape down in those little slits right there and kind of get it in there nice and straight, and then you paint over the rest of it. One thing that I found out that's really important when you work on that is that you want to make sure that you sand the raise lines really well. I had to redo one of them a couple of times because the issue I had was when you put the tape down in there and you spray it, I started off with black just to do the basic light blocking, then I just dusted a coat of this. What I did here is I was talking to the guys when I did the interview for creating the Enterprise. They were telling me that what they actually used on that was not a paint, it was a material that they use for machining aluminum. It's I forgot the name of it, called Bootrite or something like that. It gives that sort of a, I've seen that on metal parts where it's like a kind of a purplish violet looking almost anodized look. And
yeah.
I mixed up some of those pearlescent colors that I have. I mixed some of the red with some of the blue and got that violet and sprayed that just really lightly over the black, and it gave a really nice effect, and to me it looks just like that. And you can kind of see it a little bit here and there on that picture if you look closely on the edges, and it looks really, really nice, and it gives that kind of metallic sort of look that stuff has, is the way I remember it. And this next shot here shows you the grill lit, and you can see that we have those little 5-bar lines here going across, and by masking it. And then you got this little area here in the back you've got to black out, but I did that from behind. So all the lighting is done on that. Now the video that I'll have out on this in a couple of days will show the whole thing going together. I've got SMDs up here in the front. The first build that I did, I used LEDs, regular 5mm LEDs up here in the front for the floodlights, and I was happy with the one that you've got this effect where you've got to have one facing forward that lights up the back of the saucer, and then the other one, the inboard one, is supposed to be angled down and sort of lighting up the side of the secondary hull towards the front of the deflector dish where that pennant is, the Starfleet emblem. And when I did that on the first one, I thought I had it where I liked it, but when I got it all put together, I wasn't getting very much light out of those LEDs. Just don't project light very far. So being that those SMDs, they don't have a lens on them, they're just a raw LED filament that's just broadcasting light. They work much better for like a floodlight kind of effect. So I just wound up using an SMD on the inboard one that faces down towards the secondary hull, and I've got a 3mm LED facing forward at the saucer, and I really got a nice effect with that now. When I held it up in the dark, I'm getting a nice kind of a halo around the on the side of the secondary hull. It's given much more of like a flood lamp effect on that, so I'm really happy with that. And the videos show all that. And then I've got the strobe light in the rear and the I did the Raytheon lighting again in the tail where the registry numbers will go, and I showed how I did that. Basically, you just put a piece of tape in there and sort of a kind of a long, elongated rectangle shape, and then you spray all your light blocking in there. I started off with black and then went to white. And once I finished doing all that, I pulled the tape, and then you left with just a kind of a rectangle shape. Well, I took the decal and just cut it out and laid it on the outside, and then so I could tell basically the size of it. And then I took my airbrush with some black, and I just went around the inside and just kind of rounded off the edges a little bit on that area that I had masked, and that gives you that nice sort of a shadow effect where like the edges of the light taper off, and it looks more realistic, like it's a shadow and not just a hard line that's in there of something lighting up. So, but again, I showed how I did all that on the video because a lot of people were asking about that, how I did that. But so the nacelles are coming along, then I'll just be getting to the putty work and painting them, and then doing all the Aztec work on that, and then that's it. Once I put the engines on, the model will be pretty much done, so I'm really happy to be getting to that point. And so there's that. And let me grab this real quick for you guys here, if I can get to it without creating a log jam here. Just take me a second here, guys. Something else I'm working on I wanted to show you guys real quick. You might not have seen it yet. It's loading up here, guys. Give me just 1 second.
We're here for you, Boyd.
Okay. All right. Boy, running this Google really slows down your internet connection, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's terrible bandwidth.
All right, it's just about there, fellas. Give me 1 more second here. Yeah, somebody play the Jeopardy music. All right.
I'm sorry, your call has timed out.
Come on.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that.
Maximize.
So yeah, how are your ribs there, Chris?
All right, there we go. Now if I switch back to this. Okay, let me try this now, guys. See if this will work.
Tag, you saying about my ribs? My ribs are fine.
Okay. Okay, is that showing up on the screen for you guys?
Yes,
yes.
I see a football.
That's I call it the Stewie.
That's it.
Stewie Interstellar Cruiser. So yeah, I've been working on this little resin model. This is actually for a client of mine. He's actually over in Belgium, which is kind of cool. And he's a big fan of Dune, so I started working on this. This is a model that's put out by a company called Hunk of Junk Models. It's a little over 1 foot in length, so it's a nice little size. And you can see in the shot here, I've started to work on the lighting. And if this button will work here, we'll show you how it looks in the dark. It hasn't been light blocked or anything yet, but I'm starting to work in the windows. It's just really basic. I just added some LED strip in there, and I've been going on the internet right now and looking at some screen grabs of the ship and how it's supposed to look and everything. There's a couple more lights that go on the front panel there I've got to work in. But it's a hollow model. It's a rotocast, which means that they spin it when they cast it, and so it gave a beautiful mold on the outside. Really smooth. The details real crisp. There isn't any pitting or anything in it. But on the inside, I found out that it was kind of uneven as far as the thickness. So I had to put an extension on my grinding tool and reach in there and start grinding away, because when I was doing the windows, some of them were coming out pretty easy, and the other ones were like, it was like 1/2 an inch thick. So I've been shaving out some of the material in there and getting that work down. But I've just about got it now, and I'm hoping by maybe another week or two I'll be done with this thing. But I'm really having fun. It's something different.
Yeah.
And well, the plan for this is going to be down here on the bottom. There's a little kind of an elevator thing that extends out of this when it lands, and I'm gonna. It's a solid part, so I'm going to hollow that out, and I'm going to make some electrical contacts on the bottom of it. And the client, he didn't want any kind of wiring coming out of this, so we're just going to run our wires down through the center of it into that little part there and put a couple contacts on the bottom. And then when he sits it down onto the base, it'll make contact with the power there, and it'll light up. And that's how we're going to do that. I thought about putting a rechargeable battery in it, but there's really no way that he could have that in there. You know, he would have to crack the model open at some point if the battery ever wore out. So we're just going to keep it simple. But that's it for that. That one's going to be fun to finish up here, do a little bit of weathering and stuff on it.
Looks good. One of my favorite movies. I think it was like the first movie I remember watching.
I never understood the movie, Bob. I haven't seen it in a few years. It just, I guess people say that if you read the book, that you have a lot better understanding of what it's all about and all the characters and everything. But it's been so many years since I've seen the movie that I just didn't quite get it. When he wrote to me and talked about the model, he was like, "Surely you've seen it," and I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." But once he sent me a picture of it, I remembered seeing it. But so I haven't gone to the website yet, but I wonder if this Hunk of Junk Models makes any other kits. Because if their quality, I mean, is anything like it is on this one, they should be some really nice models. I mean, this is for a resin kit. It's the nicest mold that I've ever gotten from anybody. I mean, it's incredible how perfect it is on the outside. Usually you see some pitting or some flash or whatever, but it's a perfect mold. So, okay, guys, we're at our point here in the Hangout where we're going to turn it over for open discussion. I had one subject that I wanted to throw around the room to you guys tonight, and that would be I get quite a few questions from modelers, especially beginning modelers, and I would like to ask each one of you guys to comment on that. If you had a basic set of tools and supplies to recommend for a beginner modeler, what would those be? And let's start off with you first, Bob, if you have any thoughts.
You know, that's a perfect question because I'm putting together a toolkit for my nephew who just started building models. So he just built those Star Trek or Star Wars snap kits the other day, and of course I got him a little X-Acto knife set. It's one like this one. Got this mine's all wore out, but it comes with a nice set of blades. Try not to dump it out. And
I have that exact same kit. Yeah, that's a good one.
I got him one just like this. I got him a little pliers set with the side cutters and end cutters and needle nose. And then I bought him. What's the other thing I got him? Oh yeah, now I remember. Those stupid hair clip, clothespin chip clip things.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now I got all ones that were magnetic, so that I'm gonna get him a little piece of stainless to put on his workbench so that he can use those as to hold stuff in place. Yeah, that's basically the tools that I bought him. Other than paint, testers, acrylic paint set, and a bottle, tuba orange glue. Never be without the orange glue.
That's right.
Yeah, that's basically what I got him to start with. Of course, he steals all my stuff anyway, so.
So you bought it for yourself?
Yeah, basically replacing the stuff that he's carried off. Yeah. and a good set of paintbrushes. That would be the other thing. They don't have to be expensive, but a decent set of paintbrushes with nice hair on them. Not the. Tester sends you that little white brush and all their stuff, which is okay for some stuff, but a good soft hair brush, there's a whole set. I think I bought like 10 of these for brush set for like $10. It had 10 different brushes in it.
Yep.
I don't even remember what brand they are. Probably somewhere, some Chinese brand. Yeah, yep, China.
All right, Bob. How about you, Chris? What would you recommend for a beginner to start off with some basic modeling tools?
Well, what Bob said was pretty good, but I'm going to add my own twist to it. Hemostats.
There you go.
I cannot get along without hemostats. Matter of fact, my mentor, that's the first thing he ever gave me. He assembled me a little hemostat kit from out of
Explain
his
what a
stuff.
hemostat is, Chris. A lot of people might not know what that is.
A hemostat is a medical device which is used in surgery, used to clean up off blood vessels and things like that. And these can be used to hold small parts and attaching them to kits. For instance, like the little boogers I'm working on for the Batman kit gauntlet, they can be used to attach that and hold it perfectly still and let the glue dry. Another thing I highly recommend, sanding twigs for sanding those small, impossible to get places. Sanding sticks from Squadron.
Or you can buy regular. Your mom might even have some nail files laying around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A sanding sponge, fine and medium grade, you can find at Walmart. And I know most people don't realize it, but the handy dandy Swiss Army knife. I could never get along with modeling without my
Somebody
Swiss
finally
Army
found a use for one of those. All right.
Other than the Swiss.
Other than open up your wine bottle.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, basically, the best part of it is the little tweezers. So that's some of the stuff I recommend.
All right. Tell me, you guys, be honest now. How many times have you gotten a gift from your kids, your wife, over the years that was a Swiss Army knife or something like it, and you were just like, gee, thanks, honey?
I have one in my car in my glove box. I keep one in my toolbox. I've got one laying over here somewhere. I have 3 or 4 of them around here.
I actually
use it all the time.
I actually got samurai swords. I didn't get Swiss Army knives.
I wouldn't recommend one of those for working on a model, not unless you're totally frustrated with it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's over for that model.
Hassan Chop.
Yep. Hassan Chop.
Okay, let's move on to Dave. Dave, you got any suggestions for somebody that's just starting out? One of the things that we talk about all the time is staying on the economical side. Don't go hog wild and think you have to, have a complete setup like you've got in the background there right off the bat. Some basic items for modeling, just to get you into it.
Well, I think a lot of it's already been said. I know the hemostats, but you can also find some just regular tweezers that'll work, if you're just looking for something like that, or, the cheaper hobby knives at first to start out with, like the tester knives or whatever, if if you're wanting to go small at first. I agree with the sanding. Some of those sanding sticks and stuff are nice, but you can use your nail file, like you said, your mom's nail file, as long as she don't get mad. That would help out, to be able to sand in tough spots. Blue tape. I like the blue tape, for many different reasons.
Oh yeah, definitely required for modeling.
The 3M, none of the knockoff stuff.
Yep, and that's a really good piece of advice because you don't want to use regular white masking tape on your models because you're going to get residue, the adhesive residue left over from that tape makes a mess out of your models, and not to mention the fact that it doesn't have a very good edge on it, so if you're painting something with an airbrush or whatever you're doing, if you want a nice clean line when you're painting something, you're not going to get it with regular white tape. It's going to leak like crazy, and You also, you don't want to leave your tape on a model for very long, especially if you're going to be leaving it in somewhere where it's a high temperature area. That the tape will actually start to eat into your paint or your finish if you leave it on there for more than a couple days. So if you're going to mask something, you want to paint it right away. Don't wait too long.
Yeah. So yeah, the blue tape, that's something that's it seems like it comes very handy for many different things.
Yep, definitely so. And a lot of this stuff you can get at your local Home Depot, your local Lowe's, places like that.
Walmart.
You can. A lot of the times, if you go to the hobby store, you're going to pay more for basic materials. If you can find stuff at your local Walmart or Hobby Lobby or some of these other places, you're probably going to pay less for it than you will at a hobby shop. So just kind of keep that in mind too. Jerry, have you got any suggestions for what a beginning modeler would want to start off with?
Well, it's not cheap. That's the only problem. And Dave told me a few days ago that this isn't made anymore. Now I've got a regular Dremel and a Dremel bench press and everything, but the one tool I use more than any other tool is this Dremel stylus.
Yeah.
Especially with very small bits and drilling out windows and things of that nature. This, to me, has been the best tool I have ever seen. And unfortunately, I guess they don't make it anymore because it's just too bloody good. So it's cordless. Obviously, it's got a battery in it. Set it on the charger, holds charge wonderfully, and it's got a speed control on the back knob right here. You get the self chuck thing that you can put on the end of it with like all the other Dremel tools to put your bits and stuff in.
Yeah, it doesn't come with it, by the way. It's a separate part, but it's a must-have.
Exactly, but to me, this is the most used tool I've ever got, and I love this thing. And I'm pissed because they don't make it anymore. It's
Man,
just outstanding.
Yours looks in mint condition. Mine looks like it's a little bit battle scarred.
Well, Boyd, we all know that I'm the frustrated modeler who doesn't get a chance to model much anymore because of the business. I will say that this got a good workout. What was it, Dave? Yesterday, when I was working on the Cylon Raider, I actually worked on the Raider for a couple hours. And had a lot of fun. But this is the one tool, if you can get one, I would definitely recommend it.
That is definitely a must-have as well. And you can do basically everything you can. I'm not sure, but I think they even made a press that actual pistol grip version. There's a Dremel press available for that too.
There might be. I've got a normal Dremel, regular Dremel, and a normal Dremel press that I use for when I need that.
Yep, that's a nice one to have. Okay, Mitch, how about you? What would you recommend for somebody who's just starting out? Some of the basic tools that they might want to look into getting.
Well, I'm new, so I wanted to show you guys what I ordered and see what y'all thought. It's a Masters compressor. See it on my phone.
Oh, compressor set. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it comes with the 3 sprayers. I think that's a good starter kit anyway. I'm sure y'all probably got air tanks on y'all's, but
no, I don't. I just have the basic compressor. In fact, that compressor looks identical to mine, pretty much. It's got an air regulator on it, and does it have a water trap?
It comes with the 3 sprayers. It comes with 6 bottles sprayed. It was $129.
Well, you can't beat that.
I got it on eBay for that. So. But
yeah, from what I can see on the picture there, it looks like it has a water trap. You can see it there. It's a clear thing.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's nice. That's a good deal.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's something that I would say that most modelers would be very, very wise to look into getting like right away if you're gonna continue modeling, because an airbrush is just invaluable as far as painting models.
When I first started out, I was using the aerosol cans, and those things are so expensive. I mean, $12 a model. Well, if you get the small can, it won't even do a whole model sometimes.
Right.
So.
Mm-hmm.
You're wasting your money when you can just go buy a compressed or something.
You get a
I tell the
compressor.
story right here about
yourself
using the spare tire for my dad's car, for my airbrush. I think I did. I took his spare tire out of his car and used it for my airbrush,
Yeah.
and he had a flat tire.
Yeah,
He was not
there
real
you go.
good.
So it's a sound investment. You can
I
use
was
it around
about
the
12
house.
years old, yeah.
Yeah. The nice thing I was going to say about an air compressor is that you can go to, say, Hobby Lobby and start buying some of these acrylic-based paints, and you can start you buy yourself a set of the primary colors, and then you can start mixing your own colors and get your own specific colors that you want. Because when you're spraying with spray cans, if you walk into a hobby store, you're always going to have to compromise. They don't. A lot of times, if you're looking for the exact color
you want.
They never have. They have something that's close but not quite right. You start learning how to mix your own colors by eye and everything like that, and you'll be really happy with the results. And it'll be a lot more economical because you can mix up the exact amount of paint that you want for your model and not waste the rest of it. You buy a whole can, and if you're only spraying a small little part or something like that, what are you going to do with the rest of that can? So,
Yeah.
That's one way to look at that too. It's a little bit of an investment up front, but it'll, if you take good care of it, it'll last you a long, long time. So that's definitely a good one.
If you're planning on making models and having fun with them, you definitely got to invest in the paint and compressor, and to save you money wise. Anyway, I mean it's costly at first, but it'll help you out in the long run.
Not to mention your paint jobs will turn out a lot better too.
Yeah.
A whole lot better.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for that one, Mitch. How about you, Shannon? What have you got collected there for you? You've been kind of building up your tools there a little bit. What would you recommend?
Well, one of these, definitely a little bit of set of tweaks. You can get these cheap at Wally World. Some good little brushes. Like these. Of course, I got these off of Amazon, but still, you need some good little brushes. Good little artistic brushes. And for the last but not least, the piece de resistance, you need this little fella. You need that red tube glue. You get the blue tube glue, you're gonna be in big trouble. I done learned that.
It smells great, but unfortunately, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work well. Let's just put it that way. It doesn't work well. It takes off. It's not dry.
It works until it dries.
Yeah, and then it's cement. And the last thing I'd recommend is like what Bob said: get your paints, get your little bottles of model paint put in there for your detail work.
Yep.
I got mine's right here.
Those
I always keep one of these around.
Yep.
small little set that from testers that's been around since before the dinosaurs.
Yeah, this is the acrylic one. The gloss.
They're still
acrylic
useful
set.
for doing little detail painting and things like that.
Yeah.
A lot of they have the basic colors, and they have. Do they still make the military set that has all the flat?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. And they're still fairly reasonable priced. Let's ask Tag what he would recommend for a beginner for a couple of basic tools.
So let's see. I don't know. You guys have like covered everything. I actually went and after watching one of your vids, I went and got the real good tweezers for the decals.
Right.
You know, I mean, these things are awesome. I mean, you can
That looks
pick
like
it up.
the same pair that I have. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the two of them together in the set. And as far as like an airbrush, it's Iwata Neo.
Yep.
That's a good one.
It's a great
Yeah,
airbrush
well,
too.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, because I have two of the other Iwatas that are like $100 each, and this one's half that price. If you want, I can look on Amazon real quick and tell you exactly how much.
What's the name of that?
Neo.
I have a Wada Eclipse, I think it's called.
Yeah,
Basically,
I have
the
the
same thing.
the Eclipse, and I have the Revolution, and then I have a big sprayer like you do. I've got, but the cool thing about this one is you get your big bowl, but the cool part is that it unscrews. It makes it so much easier to clean the bowl.
Oh yeah, you can take it
Yeah,
off
and
and
you
soak it.
Yep, and then you get your next size bowl. It'll screw in here for me. Anyway, you get the idea. Get your next size bowl, like that, and then you can just use that part for just small stuff to use. And ever since I started using, it, I haven't even used my other ones.
And
Tag,
that's
I think.
the,
Tag,
the
I think.
Wada Neo.
I think smokers call that a bowl. We call that our cup.
Yeah. Well, I too have hemostats.
We bet you do.
He changed the subject quick, didn't he?
It's semi-legal in California now, so.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, they have the stores out here, but it's one of those battles between Fed and state. It's like the state takes your tax money for it, and then the Feds come and bust you. It's a prime example of our government working together.
Oh yeah.
So that's the Ottawa Neo, huh?
Yeah, like I said, it's less than $50. And if you're on
I might
Amazon
look into
Prime,
getting one of those, Tag, because I'd like to have that interchangeable cup. And
yeah, that cup.
Yeah.
mine's starting to get some miles on it anyway, so yeah, I'll have to look into that. And then you say that's available at Amazon, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there is a way to take it apart, move stuff around, connect a hose onto here. I'm not going to go on any further.
How
Does
many
that have
hoses can you
the
connect?
only thing I would ask about it is the rear part, the tail. Is it open?
It's not open. I mean, it's got your case, but it's just like the others. You've got
Okay,
your,
yeah, because,
the needle, the nut for the needle right here that pulls out. But the best part about this, let me see if I can take this off and I'll show you.
That other knob in there, Tag, a lot of people don't know what that's for. That's the volume adjustment on the paintbrush.
Yeah, exactly.
You basically turn that forward or towards the rear to adjust the sensitivity of the trigger on a dual action brush, so that when you push the trigger down, you should get air, and then as you pull the trigger back, you're introducing the paint, and
Right.
you can adjust the sensitivity of that of when you want the paint to start coming in and the overall volume of paint it puts out.
Right. I think probably the best thing I like about this, other than the easy clean, is that different than the other airbrushes, is the nozzle here actually has its own air chamber.
Right.
So this keeps the paint from drying as quick as it does with the other airbrushes.
Yep, and that looks just like the Eclipse that I have, that separate piece on the front.
Give
What
me
is
the
a nice
name
brush.
of that airbrush one more time.
Pardon me?
The name of it. What's the name of it?
Neo.
Neo.
It's probably
You know, like
backwards,
the
isn't it?
Matrix.
If you get a
Yeah.
second, Tag, when we get past you here, you could maybe bring it up on your browser there and put the link in the chat for Amazon.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, I've already got it. Let me pop it in there.
Okay.
Next year.
Okay. Well, while they're doing that, I'm gonna switch it over to Ralph. And Ralph, rather than talking about modeling supplies, if you were to talk to people about what they're going to need for, let's say they start getting into some of this lighting and things like that, and they're going to be using some of your kits and things, what would you recommend for some basic tools and supplies that you would need to have on hand for working with that?
Well, I'm a big fan of a hot glue gun. I don't have much success because I never used the kicker with super glue, so it seems to take forever. But I love the hot glue gun, and when you like something, I guess you get proficient at it and use it in different ways to hold LEDs, wires, etc. So I'm a big fan of the glue gun. What else? You need a good iron where you can control the different temperatures. Like
Soldering iron or curling iron?
Soldering iron. Yeah. Right,
Ralph doesn't need a curling iron. You might.
Ralph doesn't need a curling iron.
You need an ironing board to go with that iron.
Soldering iron would be good because, you can control the temperature. Like Boyd likes to use magnetic wire, so you'd like to get something that gets to at 800 degrees or there 825 and stay there, not get too much hotter. If you're going to work with regular wire, like the one I use when I send my kits out, something around 675, 700. But being able to control the heat is good. You don't want to damage the LEDs. Some alligator clips or hemostats, what have you. If you want to hold the LED at the base where the leads come out, and you're going to solder some wires to it, especially if you're not going to use the whole length of the LED leg, you're going to cut it down. That just allows you to transmit more heat into the plastic body, which is not too good. It will, at best, defray the life of it. At worst, you'll burn it out. Sometimes you'll end up with a leg that came out of the plastic body of the LED. Cutters, good cutters, and wire strippers are a necessity. Solder.
What type of solder do you recommend, Ralph?
I like to use the old-fashioned solder, which is a 60-40 blend. I know they have some, lead-free solder.
Oh, that stuff sucks.
We use it in our industry because some customers require that we solder with lead-free. It's not bad, except that you gotta do it on the first shot, guys. If you want to solder something, you can't mess around. In other words, you gotta be a good solderer. In other words, you gotta know the right technique. Put the soldering tip on top of the solder pad and the item. If you were soldering like a resistor or an LED to the board, so you heat up both points and then you add your solder. You don't want to keep going like this because lead-free is a one-shot deal. If you try to retouch it up with the same solder, it really doesn't work well. You have to add more solder. So that's the only downfall with solder is you got to get it right the first time around. If not, you got to start again. But for hobbies, for hobbyists, I think the 60-40 is the best way to go. As long as you don't go into medical environments, you're all right. Or food service.
Right. What about insulating the wires when you do any soldering, Ralph? Like heat shrink tubing or?
Yep. I prefer it because it's a waste to do both legs on an LED. I just prefer to heat shrink the positive side of the LED because I think most of you guys like to run aground throughout the ship or what have you. So as long as you insulate the positive polarity, I think that's good enough.
Fits in tighter places too.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mitch.
It fits in tighter places too when you don't do both sides.
Exactly. Yep. Good point. You can, by the way, the heat shrink. I know most people use a heat gun, but sometimes when you've already have the LED mounted in the ship, you can use it very carefully. You can use the tip of your iron to run along the length of the tubing, and that will shrink it. Because sometimes you don't want to get a hot gun inside of a model, right, David?
Right.
You'll have to have damage battle. Battle damage.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about if you do invest in a quality solder iron, what we call a soldering station.
Yep.
And that is, you'll see that it'll have an adjustable dial on there with your heat, all the way from, I think, 200 up to, I think mine goes from like 200 up to 850.
Right.
So if you have the adjustable one, you can turn down the heat, and you can run it over top of that heat shrink tubing like that, and it won't melt it or burn it or whatever, and
right.
Shrink it right up, and you can get into those tight little spots and things. So.
And you guys spend a lot of money on these air compressors and spray guns. You know, you can get a decent iron with, like Boyd's talking about, with a dial. It's like it's like sometimes you can get it for $140 from Weller.
Oh, I'm sure Tag could find one even cheaper than that on Amazon.
You probably could.
Yeah, I can't remember what I paid for mine because that's where I got it. I have a Weller.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
it's like Boyd's. It's the orange plastic holder.
You know, I don't even remember if mine's orange or not. I think it's blue, but it's
Yeah.
a Weller.
A lot of the Wellers are blue cases. Yeah.
Yeah.
Light blue.
I know those Wellers that they sell, the standalone solder irons with the red plastic handle. Don't even waste your money on one of those. They're only pretty much good for like using them 1 or 2 times, and then they're ready for the trash. The tip won't work anymore. It'll you're better off getting, you know, like I said, investing in a solder iron station. They tend to be higher quality and a better tip and everything on them that will last you a while.
You
Yeah,
can find
I
some
did
good
get
deals on eBay too. I got my digital unit for like $89.
Look at that.
Right.
See?
Yep.
Yeah, I think mine was somewhere around there. But I got different tips for mine. I got the pointed tips instead of the chisel that it comes with.
Yep. Well, guys, we just had another modeler join us, Armando de la Cabada. Armando's one of our regulars. Armando must have been working late tonight. How you doing tonight, Armando?
Doing fine, Boyd. Sorry I'm late, guys. That held up. But glad to be here. I know it's almost over, but I figured I'd just pop in anyway.
You got held up. Did they take all your money?
Good question.
No.
What you
What
working on tonight, Armando?
Well, let me show you guys.
I bet it's big.
It's green.
Yeah. Big and green.
Big,
Big and
it's not
green.
green.
Oh,
Not green yet, but
he started doing all the shading on it. You can see it. That's cool.
Wow.
Doing the appreciate. Awesome.
That looks like a concrete statue. I'd leave it just like that. That's cool looking.
yeah, it really brings everything out. All appreciating. Great technique. I did the face also. Just misted it with some black to bring out the crevices in the cheeks and stuff. And let me see if I can show it to you guys. It really works well. It emphasizes his expression even more. It makes him look more pissed.
Yeah. Hey, you'd be pissed if you were naked.
Well, he's got pants on. They're just not very big. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm going to mix up the green now, I think, and see what I can come up with.
How many gallons it's got to take?
No, I don't think it'll take that much. But I got the seams all covered in, and with the clay, they're pretty much gone. I'm appreciating. It's really hard to see them now. Did some sanding on there. You can see some of it there, but I did some sanding to smooth some of the transitions, and it worked pretty well. So I think I got them nailed down now.
Very cool.
Man, that thing is huge.
Yeah,
It's pretty big.
so that's what I'm doing.
That's nice,
That's
Armando.
everyone else.
Armando, you know you can leave him as the Gray Hulk and he'll be more intelligent, right?
Right, yeah, but he won't be as mean or as strong.
Okay.
I want him green, though. I don't want him
You want him gamma green. I know what it is.
yes.
Well, Armando is like a lot of us modelers, is a detail freak. He'll research and check and ask questions all the time. He wants his models to come out exactly right. He puts a lot of time into it. Armando, our discussion that we were having just before you joined us, and maybe you can contribute, we were kind of going around and asking people, I was saying that one of the questions that I get a lot is from beginning modelers is what were some basic tools that you would recommend for somebody who's just starting out into modeling as far as essential tools that you need?
Well, obviously an airbrush, you can get them pretty cheap. And soldering station, like you guys were saying, would be the best thing. I wouldn't go with a small soldering iron. I tried that at the beginning, and I just could not get the magnet wire to melt the appropriate way. So
Right.
I think those two things are pretty important. Maybe some of the instruments to be able to grab the pieces or mold some of the stuff like spatulas or tweezers. Those are all pretty basic things you can get cheaply on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Good advice. Good advice.
Yep.
I'm gonna put my 2 cents in here a little bit, guys. A lot of it's already been said, but one of the things that I keep going back to all the time is a pair of magnifying goggles. Very, very nice to have those. You're often going to be working with some really small parts, whether you're want to see them up close because you're painting them, or you're trying to trim some of the excess molding plastic flash off of them, or if you're doing some other type of modification work on the parts and you want to see everything really nice and up close, you can buy a really nice pair of magnifying goggles that has a built-in light that you can probably buy a set for like $10 at your local Walmart or whatever. And probably one of my very favorite things that I ever bought that solved a lot of problems for me is an item called a pair of helping hands. And basically what they are is it's a little stand that's got a kind of a heavy metal stand it sits on with a multi-jointed kind of an apparatus on both sides that has a couple of alligator clips on it. And I use that thing like every day when I'm working on stuff. Yeah,
Dave is
Dave's
showing one off there.
Yeah, let me get to Dave here. That tool is incredibly useful because I can remember when I started out doing my electrical work and soldering LEDs, I was working on a little bitty coffee table thing that I had, and I would literally be chasing the LED around with my solder iron.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have all done the same thing.
Mhm.
And that helping hands, you can clamp your parts in there, and they even make one that has a little magnifying glass built onto it too, so you can look at the parts up close. But those are really inexpensive, and I highly recommend that. You can have parts clamped in that you've painted, and you want to let them sit there and dry. It'll hold them up in the air. And it'll even hold fairly heavy parts, and that's a very useful tool.
Yeah, you can get those really economical if you have a Harbor Freight nearby.
Right.
Yeah.
They sell it at Harbor Freight. That's a good source for getting a lot of tools for modeling too. A micro set of micro files is a nice thing to have as well, which you can also get really cheap. You're going to be using those for doing things like filing the edges of parts and straightening things, but you're also going to be using them if you're doing a lot of this lighting that we do on these models, where you're going to be opening up windows and things like that, drilling them out. Now, another little tool that I didn't hear mentioned yet, and we talked about the Dremel tool, which is nice, but if you're going to be doing a lot of precise drilling, you want to get yourself what they call a pin vise. And a pin vise is basically a handheld drill chuck that you could put micro-sized drill bits into it, and it allows you to have really precise control. So, for example, if you're going to do some windows or some other areas on a model, you can align that spot with your drill bit perfectly, and you turn this thing in your hand. You can turn it really slow, so that if you're just beginning to open up your windows, you'll have like a little pilot hole in there to begin with. Then if you want to, and you're going larger than that, you can switch over to your Dremel tool with a little bit larger bit, and you can drill into that hole, and you'll have it perfectly centered already, and your pilot hole will guide your bit. But if you're using a Dremel tool to try to do that, you'll have the problem with the bit trying to walk around on you a little bit and move, and you can't control it real precise. So if I had one here inside, I'd show it to you, but it's if you check at your hobby shop or probably at some of these tool places like Harbor Freight or somewhere like that, you'll be able to find that. Okay, it looks like Chris is holding one up here. I'll get him on the.
I got one too.
Here's what you don't get one like this.
Oh, got him.
Don't get a cheap one.
Yeah, the nice ones will have like that. The one Bob's got's the exact same one I've got. It's got it'll have a like a grip on the top that swivels, and so you basically put that grip in the palm of your hand, and reach down towards the shank and spin it with your fingers and just rest it in your palm and just turn it. You can turn it really slow, and it'll you can get really nice control over it like that, and it's really works great.
Yeah, the other one I have is a chuck at each end. It's got two different chucks.
There are different types, but you can see it's made to hold those really small micro drill bits, and that's another thing I'd recommend you do is buy yourself some micro drill bits. You can find on eBay, there's a couple of people that sell entire sets of those things. Don't buy the Dremel ones because they're just way too expensive. For the price of a Dremel set, you can go and find them on eBay where you can buy like 50 of them for the same price, and all different sizes.
That's the little finger.
Yeah, they come in those little containers that Tag's holding up there.
Yeah, there's a eBay seller. I can't remember his handle, but he's out of Florida, and I think all he does is drill bits.
Yep, that's where I buy mine.
And I've been getting mine from him, and they're just excellent drill bits.
Yep.
He's got very, very good pricing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and the drill bits, you know, in modeling, you can use them as both a drill and a file. You know, talking about that little dune model that I'm working on right now, I basically drill to get those slots created there. I drilled 4 holes and to get, you know, the pilot holes started, and then take the drill bit and just really carefully just slide it back and forth and until it connects to the next hole and opens it up until finally you've got a nice little slot cut into that. You just take your time. On those micro drill bits, you don't want to exert a lot of lateral force on them. You know, they're a carbide bit, so they'll stay sharp, but you know they're obviously very brittle being like that, and you can snap them off. But you'll get the feel for how much they can take, and like I said, you can use them like a file and a drill bit to open up your windows and other things you're doing on plastic.
Yeah, I used them to I don't know if you can see that. Because these are flat on the X-Wing, they're the flat at the end of the exhaust.
Yep.
So I used it in between. Yeah, I used it in between
slots.
So yeah. Mm-hmm. So it gets some dimension on there.
That's nice. Okay, guys, we're getting close to the end here. I show 20 minutes after 10. Let's open it up now for any questions that anybody on the panel wanted to ask or anything they wanted to talk about. And so, open floor, guys. Take it away.
Did everybody have a good 4th of July?
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Yep.
I tried.
Sounds exciting.
We just
contain yourselves.
We just fired up our grill and sat on the porch. I live about, oh man, I mean, SeaWorld is only a stone's throw away from me, so we get a free fireworks show every year.
Ah, there you go.
Back porch and watch that. So that was it for us. Then I went back in and started working on some models.
Yeah, we had a squirrel here that wanted to celebrate the 4th of July by blowing one of our. I thought it was the transformer. I heard a big explosion around 7:30 in the morning, but I guess he just blew the a fuse. But it sounded like an explosion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all stretched out, still in the street. That is a
Rocket J Squirrel, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever had fried squirrel?
Sorry, no.
No, me neither. That's why I was asking. You ever had fried squirrel?
You just gotta take
I didn't like
There
it.
ain't a whole lot to it.
Probably pretty gristly, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not.
Electrocuted squirrel. Hot and fresh, right off the street. There you go.
That's roadkill.
Yeah.
Hey, those restaurants are popular down in Texas. We got several of them called Roadkill Cafe and stuff like that.
Granny from the Hillbillies.
There you go.
Our specialty is armadillo pancakes.
Yeah.
Armadillo.
Jerry, I got a project I need you to start looking at.
A project.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What's the
1,000
project?
Reliance coming out.
Let's check out what Bob's got here.
I'm going to need some Peregrine, USS Peregrine decals coming up soon.
Oh,
USS
cool.
Penguin.
Peregrine. Peregrine, like the Falcon.
What? That's a Romulan bird of prey.
It's a Miranda.
Yeah.
That's actually a cool look.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So now, so you're taking a Miranda and you're adding the struts off of the refit basically, and the
Basically.
nacelles. Man, I like the look of that.
And then
Yeah,
the
that's pretty cool.
photons move down here to the bottom and to the front of the saucer.
Is this a design you came up with, Bob?
No, this is off of Starship data sheet from
yeah.
Starfleet Academy or whatever that one is.
Ah, you know, you could do that out of one of those 1000 kits.
But bing, 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 bing. That's why I'm going to order 2 of them.
Cool.
That you got to use the you need the refit kit and you need the Reliant kit.
Yeah.
That's actually a cool design. I
is.
like that personally.
Yeah.
The backstory was that they were testing it. That would be more maneuverable to have the engines so far apart at warp speed.
Uh-huh.
That's what the Romulans did. So they took the design from the Romulan bird of prey.
What's the device there at the front of the saucer? Is that actually like is it weapons or is that a
Looks
deflector?
like a photon.
That's
Yeah.
the photon.
Photon launcher?
Yeah.
It'll be on the roll bar.
See, I always wondered on the Miranda class what they use for deflection. There's no deflector dish on the thing.
Boy, that's a secret.
Actually, there is.
I guess you don't have clearance.
They technically screwed up.
No, there actually is deflector dishes on the Miranda class.
Where?
Okay, the two. Bob, pull up your thing again. Let me show.
Back up
I
the
use
back.
that. Yeah. Okay, see the 2 trenches with the things that are
The little
out
round things
front?
on the front.
Yeah, those are your deflector dishes.
Okay, that's interesting because that's not what they're marked on my blueprints of the Reliant.
Those are supposed to be sensors. The same thing on the refit.
Yep.
Well, that's right.
They're the
I'm
same
telling
things
you.
that's on the beside the deflector dish on the refit.
I've been told they're deflector dishes, so.
But, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I want to build.
That's cool, Bob. I like that.
That's a cool design.
It is.
For that 1,000. So
You might have started a trend, Bob.
So we'll need some decals coming up here shortly.
Well, I can help you with that.
I figured you could.
I am really impressed with that design. That is really cool looking.
I thought it was way cool. As soon as that 1,000 Reliant kit was announced, it's like that's what I'm doing.
In fact, that's one of the best alternate designs that I've seen that I actually really liked.
I agree.
And
It's got that menacing, much more menacing look to it, like the Romulan.
Yeah, it's definitely
Bird of
got
prey.
some
Yeah,
the real
it shows
classic
that's what
Romulan bird of prey profile to it.
That's cool.
So
Aren't they supposed to be doing a new Romulan bird of prey kit too in 1/1000 scale or something? I thought I saw something about that from Wonderfest.
Yep.
Yes, they are.
Maybe they'll actually do an accurate one.
I'll just be happy if they come out with an accurate Galileo for once.
Right. Yep. A lot of people are looking forward to that. Well, thanks for sharing that, Bob. That was the coolest thing we saw tonight.
we're gonna need some decals coming up here.
Anybody have anything else they want to bring up? Questions, comments?
No.
Completions.
The shuttle's come a long way while we've been sitting here talking.
There you go.
You did good.
Bob, does that kit have much of the tile detail on it?
It has none of the tile detail on it.
How about any lines for doing any for guiding where you're going to paint your panels and things
No.
like that? Nothing?
No.
It's just all smooth.
Like I
huh?
said, I may have bitten off more tonight.
Oh,
The
you'll
only-
be fine.
The only thing you've got, let me see, I don't know if we will show.
'Cause I was going to say, when I looked at that
the landmarks,
documentary,
you've got the
about that-
RCX up here
Yeah.
and the escape hatch. So you're going to have to, there's no other landmarks for that demarcation up here. But on the wings, it has some. It's odd. Some of the panel lines are raised and some of them are recessed. The same thing on the 747. Yeah, it's going to be fun. But yeah.
Somewhere.
What scale is that kit? Bob?
This one is 144.
144
144.
Okay, thank you.
Somewhere in a lake up in northern Wisconsin, there is about a 3-foot long 747 model that's still on the bottom up there somewhere. Because when I was a kid, I did my own reenactment of Airport 77, I think it was, when the big jumbo jet.
Yeah, that's not.
I'll bet you that thing's
the
still
same
down there.
jet.
That plastic probably wouldn't have decayed yet. That's been like 30 years ago. That's
only
cool,
like
Bob.
3 parts
I was just
or
going to say,
5
looking at
parts
that
that are different.
documentary, I've never seen a shuttle up close. The one that they have in Houston, what do they call that one? It's the. In fact, I just saw something on Facebook where they showed they've got the authentic cockpit that they just put in it. What's the name of that one, Jerry? It's the
Independence, ain't it?
No, not the Independence.
Columbia?
No,
Yeah, I
Columbia's
can't-
destroyed.
I can't remember
Anyway, they had a picture. They've got
the training unit that.
they've got a brand new cockpit that they just put in it that's completely authentic, and they showed it all lit up. But that shuttle doesn't have all the detail on the outside with all the tiles and everything. And I was looking at that documentary when they showed Discovery when they rolled it into the hangar, and the Smithsonian specifically told them that they didn't want them to refurbish it. They wanted to leave it all dirty and burned up and everything, just like it came back. And man, if you were to try to paint that, I mean,
I have an idea for
it would
that.
be the Aztec work on these refits would look like a cakewalk compared to trying to paint that.
For the tile on the bottom being burnt,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking I'm going to get some of that dark gray stone speckle paint,
Right.
and I'm going to use that mask off, do the post-it mats so that it can bleed a little bit,
Right.
and then spray that. A light
Yeah, that-
dusting of that gray.
That would look
Gonna give
good.
that ashy look on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's got to be all dirty on the side because they delivered it dirty. Just right, it came out of space.
They wanted it to look used and show all the miles. I didn't know all that information either when they talked about that it was the most heavily used of all the orbiters. It had literally almost twice as much space miles on it than all the other orbiters, and
Which
it
one?
was the Discovery.
Discovery.
It's considered the pride of the fleet as far as all the shuttles go. And what was the one that they've got out in L.A.? Is that Atlantis?
Yeah. Atlantis is, I think, the only one that was truly, they said, like, didn't have to hook up with the space station every now and then. It could go for a while on its own.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the one out front when I said Independence, because I went back to my picture and looked there in Houston.
Uh-huh.
That was the one, I think they used to be able to walk on the inside of it. They didn't have it open that
Maybe
day.
it is Independence because they've only got one there, and but anyway, they put there's a picture on Facebook where they put they refurbished the because now you're going to be able to they're going to build an elevator or whatever because it's going to be sitting on top of the jumbo jet, and you're going to be able to walk. You're going to be able to get a tour of the jet and go up inside and go through the shuttle. They're going to have like an elevator on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure where each one of them went other than this one.
Yeah.
Well, I know the Enterprise is sitting on the aircraft carrier in New York.
Yeah. Well, the one that they towed, they had the video of them towing it through downtown L.A. I think that was Atlantis. I'm not sure though.
And then you got the Endeavor. I'm not sure where it's at.
Either that or it was Endeavor, because there were 6 of them all together. And
Columbia and
there's only 4 that are
Challenger
left.
are gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, which one's still out in Florida right now on display?
That's Endeavor.
That might be Atlantis, because I think Endeavor was the one that's out in L.A. if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That they showed. They made the commercial with the Toyota pickup truck towing it or whatever.
Yeah.
Over that bridge, yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's about it. That's all I've got, unless anybody has anything else. I'm showing 10:30 here, so we've been on for 2 solid hours. We had I think it was a great hangout tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. Again, talking about what we got going on over at Sci-Fi Model Action. They got the Heroes build. You got Armando there doing his Hulk. You got Chris doing his Batman, you got Bob doing the 747 shuttle, and we got a bunch of other ones going on too. So stop by and check that out, and encourage those guys on for their builds. And that's about all I got for tonight, guys. Appreciate you all coming. Mitch, glad to have you on with us tonight. Come back and see us again. And that's a wrap, everybody. I'm going to say good night, John Boy.
Hey,
Take
Boyd,
care.
I
Yes,
think
sir.
you can hang on a couple seconds.
Sure.
Yeah,
Afterwards.
could you? I want to talk to you if you have a minute about Jersey Fest.
Sure thing. But I'm going to close down the broadcast here, guys. Good night, everybody, and happy modeling. We'll see you next time.
Hey,
Take care.
night.